and understand what may be going on with you so that you can get your health back similar to what I did. So, look, 2 years ago, I was suffering, I was in pain, I had diabetes, my numbers were getting worse by the day, and I didn't know what to do. And doctors weren't helping me. And I worked in medical, and I just had doctors say, there's nothing I can do for you. Literally walk up to me and say, I can't help you. And you know what? I did train 6 days a week, 3 hours a day. I had a fitness guy write my macros. We did all of that. So it just, it amuses me when some young guy who lost some weight comes on and tells me how it is. Because I'm over 50 and it looks a whole lot different in a woman, and over 50 with Hashimoto's, PCOS, all of that history, hypertension. It looks way different than some young guy in his 20s or even his 30s who lost weight by going to the gym and doing calorie restriction. So look, I'm here to talk to you about what's at the root of it, because it's what I found that helped me, and that's why I'm here. So let's dive in. At the bottom of what's happening, by the way, I talk a lot about everything going on with the body. Weight loss does come into play, but this is not a weight loss system or a weight loss talk, right? Weight loss is not my main concern. It's a great benefit, so let's all agree to that. But weight loss is not. Okay, Cindy, I'm doing one of my dual things. So guys over on TikTok or on YouTube and Facebook, I'll let you hear the voices here, but I'm going to have some guests this morning live, people who are doing the system and doing amazing things. Sorry you can't see them. We'll set that up someday so that you can. But this is Cindy. She is one of my partners, and she's doing, like, how much weight have you lost now, Cindy?
I've lost 91 pounds.
91 pounds. Like,
Yeah.
she's kicking my butt. I've lost 50 pounds, but I'm good with that. We were just talking about how this is not a weight loss system. So your goal is to get healthy. Fat comes off as your body starts getting healthier.
Yes.
Now, Cindy's one, there's Stephanie, but there's a number of women that I work with that are all over 45, over 50, over 60.
Over 60.
And we're all doing great things. So, hey, Heather, you guys, what I found, and actually I wanted to talk about this morning too. I'm so glad you're here. Let me find Cindy. You know what? I remember I have your pictures up here. So I'm going to, for Facebook, YouTube land, I'm going to show you guys Cindy's picture. But I was realizing the last few nights when I go to sleep, because I don't, I've never really had longer hair. It's longer in the back than it is in the front. So, like, I don't have control of how I sleep with my hair. So I'm trying to pull my hair back and realizing that my hands are full of hair. At 59, I'm getting thicker hair than I was when I was in my 40s. Have you noticed anything like that, Cindy? This is Cindy for you guys in YouTube, Facebook. Cindy's picture's up now. I need to change this because she's now lost 91 pounds. Reversed her hypertension, her hyperlipidemia. She used to have horrible inflammation, neuropathy, brain fog, and that's all. Why don't you tell them? You tell them.
It's all gone. I got to tell you something amazing, though. That's not me, okay?
Okay.
Let me show you guys Carl. Can your people not see me at all?
They can't not. They can see you on TikTok, but just on Facebook. And here, let me try and see if I can turn this around so they can see. Let me see if I can manage something. So this is Carl. Go ahead, Cindy.
Okay, and Carl is a type 2 diabetic, guys. Type 2, 20 years. He was on 2,000 milligrams of metformin and 100 units of insulin a day. 3 months. You see that hard visceral fat? That stuff is choking out your organs, okay?
Yes, it is.
3 months. He lost 35 pounds.
Holy smokes.
Gone. All right. And he's totally keeping this weight off. We're in our 8th month now. He has not gained the weight back, but here is the amazing thing. He was taking 2,000 milligrams of metformin a day. Guess how much he's taking now?
How much?
Let's say none. Not a drop. He is off metformin, And not only that, he was taking 100 units of insulin every night, shot in the stomach. That's down to 42 units. And I don't believe we'll ever get off that all the way because Trulicity ruined his pancreas. So his pancreas is not making insulin like it needs to. But guys, if you're thinking about getting on Trulicity or Ozempic or all of them diabetes medicines for weight control, why the heck would you not try natural first?
Well, while you're talking over here, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the PDR because I think it's important for people to see what we're talking about with those things. So let's go to the PDR, and I'm going to show it over here too. But before I do that, I do want to say I see a bunch of stuff here. So Bobby, yay, she just started this week. Heather's hair was getting thin, is now getting thicker. 2 months on the system, her cholesterol dropped 31 points, triglycerides 58 points. Now 3.5 months on the system, she's lost 37 pounds. So, okay, you guys, I'm going to open up the PDR and we're going to look at a couple of things because I haven't done this for a while. And this, I'm that geeky person. Cindy's the personable person. I'm the geeky person. So let's do this. Which one do you want me to look up? Metformin. Does anybody have a preference? Metformin, Trulicity. I don't think is
look up Metformin because that's the one most people are on.
Metformin. Okay. So by the way, before I get started, PDR, the prescriber's digital reference. It's a U.S. reference, but any medication that your doctor is giving you should be in here. I know Mounjaro hadn't been because it hadn't passed the approvals from the PDR. So let's take a look at metformin because that's something I was on too. Metformin, let's type right. Okay, so what we want to do is to show you guys what's happening with some of these medications and why we're so on fire for the system. So this is metformin, if you guys can all see that. It's got all of these box warnings, right? But then it goes into how it's supplied, and you have to be very careful, dosage and indications, all of this. Okay, contraindications. That means if you have these things, you should not be, or you should be very careful with taking it. Look at right here in the middle. Diabetic ketoacidosis and type 1 diabetics. Do you understand how many type 1 diabetics I deal with daily that have been given metformin by their doctors to control their insulin resistance and their type 1? It's a medication they shouldn't be taking. So 2 things. Yes, you can be insulin resistant and be type 1. And number 2, be careful. Guys, go to PDR and take a look at this stuff. You don't have to be able to read it all. Just go take a look and then question your doctor why they're giving you. But diarrhea, vomiting, kidney disease, failure, impairment, alcoholism, all of these things are contraindications. Then we look at the adverse reactions. This is some of what Cindy was talking about, right? So you have vasculitis, angioedema. By the way, guys, vasculitis is a retention of water in the system. Angioedema is a retention of water in the heart. Comas, seizures, lactic acidosis, your body holding on to acids and causing more swelling. Secondary failure, heart failure, rhabdomyolysis, again, a complication of your body holding on to too much fluid and then your muscles blow up. So hypertension, all of this, but down even on the mild ones, look, it says diarrhea, infection, headache, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, dizziness. Was Carl suffering with any of that? Because I know that whole top part of the list, I had all of that for the little while that I was on metformin. I just had to throw it away because I'm like, I can't do this. So then we look at the drug interactions, and you guys, this goes on and on and on. I'm not even a quarter of a way through this page, but you have to be careful with all of these medications while you're taking metformin. And I'm going to stop for a second because how many of you have ever been told all of this by your doctor? How many of you have ever cross-checked the medications or even known that all of this stuff, even aspirin up here, and I think that Tylenol is on this list as well. But so what we want to show is when Cindy's really happy about the Feel Great system and me, we're going to look back at the PDR, and I'm just going to make this quick, and then we're going to get back into just chatting, okay? I just haven't done this for a while. So balance. Here's balance. We're still in the PDR. See that? right down here, unicity balance, and then we're going to go take a look at that. That's one half of the Feel Great system. And you're going to look and see, number one, let's just go all the way to the bottom real quick. That's it. You guys, there's not all the contraindications, the adverse reactions, all of that stuff. Clean and simple. Dosing is simple. You take a packet before 10 minutes before your meals. The only adverse side effects, anything like that, is you may have some mild gastrointestinal bloating and maybe diarrhea during the first month. Because, Cindy, tell them why.
Oh, because it's a fiber matrix. So there's 7 different soluble and insoluble fibers, and it's healing your gut. So as your gut's healing, you might have a little bit of this stuff, but it stops within 30 days, and so well worth it.
Yeah. So you guys, and a couple of other things before I hop off of this page is that you will notice in here that we do have references from the American Diabetes Association and the American Heart Association. So for all the people saying it's not real or whatever else they're trying to say, it is real. It's very, very real. And there's, by the way, now we have oncologists, endocrinologists, cardiologists, and neurologist. We have a neurologist now who started and said it's the best thing he's seen in all his years of medicine. And he's recommending it to people now too. So, Heather, are we still getting a lot of feedback over here?
I have customers that have gone to the doctor recently and they don't tell them what they're doing. It makes me infuriated. Guys, why wouldn't you? I think they're afraid the doctors are going to tell them to get off of it. If any doctor ever tells me to get off of this, that doctor is fired that day. Okay? I have never, ever been on a program before that I could lose weight easily. I've gotten rid of all of my hunger and cravings. I don't feel, I feel wonderful. I wake up in the morning, 65 years old, guys. I feel great. Get up, I jump out of bed, jump right in the showers. I have so much energy. Tell me to quit that? Yeah, goodbye.
You know, I remember 2 years ago, Heather, let me know if we're still having some feedback. Cindy, I don't know if you have another device on because I get a little feedback over here too, but I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So I had really bad energy problems too. I mean, it's been a while since I've told this story too, but I used to, when I worked in medical offices at lunchtime, like I'm booking it out the office, running down to my car. I don't care if it's the dead of winter or the heat of summer. I'm in my car, seat laid back, just like knocked out, alarm set so I could wake up and go back in the office and do my job because I was so fatigued. And after work, on my way to the gym, I'd pull up at the gym, seat back, fall asleep. So I had enough energy to even go work out. Now, I was telling somebody the other day, I'm like, it's crazy how much energy I have. I feel like a little bee buzzing around now. But the other crazy thing is now when I'm tired, I'm tired. There's none of this, okay, it's time to go to bed. And I feel like, no, like I go from I have energy. When it's time for bed, I'm tired. My body knows, let's go to bed. That hasn't happened to me since I was a teenager.
Me either. I had somebody said something up here about all the things are on. Bobby, are you a type 2 diabetic? Because that looks like all the things Carl was on. And you know what? I mean, we took him off the Trulicity because it ruined his pancreas. 50 units of insulin. He was on 100, and now he's down to 42. And he was on 2,000 milligrams of metformin, totally off of it. His blood pressure medicine, he never had high blood pressure, but when you're diabetic, they put you on it anyway. And so we have lowered that, everything. It looks to me like you are type 2 diabetic.
Heather, how much weight have you lost now? You said earlier 27 pounds in 3 months?
37.
37.
Yeah. Yes. That's a way to do it, Janice. But make sure you tell them doctors, because you know what? That to me is a sign of a good doctor or a bad one. I told mine straight up. And she's like, whatever you're doing, continue it. And that's the same dang thing Carl's diabetic doctor told him.
Yep.
Do not stop.
So you know, and you guys, it's time. I know it's hard when you don't have the background I have. when you don't have the personality that Cindy has, it's hard to go into your doctor and say BS or do better. Or I just realized my grandson stuck a sticker on my shirt and it still hasn't come all the way off. Anyway, but um, I had the first year I was on the system, I was so sick. I had a knee replacement surgery. My other knee was supposed to get replaced the next year. I didn't have to have that done. Then I had to have a hernia surgery. And then I had to have gallstones removed and my gallbladder removed in 2 different surgeries. And I was septic and almost died because of that. Those are linked to insulin resistance as well. I was about 2 hours from death, according to the emergency room nurses when I got there. But every time I went to the hospital, I took the system with me. When I when I was septic and drove myself to the hospital, because that's my personality, right? I just grabbed packets and threw them in my purse because I knew that I was going to get hospitalized that day. And I put them in there. Now, when we got out of surgery and they said, okay, you can eat, I said, give me my bag. And I had this in the hospital. Because it's in the PDR, I told them, go look it up. They went and they looked it up. They couldn't find any contraindications or any reason that they could tell me that I could not take the system in the hospital. And the nurses were asking me what this is, because my numbers at that point were already turning around. I wasn't out of diabetic range yet, but I was headed there, and they were shocked. And so they were asking what this is. You guys, yes, if your doctor is telling you no, yeah, I would say fired, because only a doctor who's lazy and not willing to do the research to figure out what this is going to tell you no. It's real food. It doesn't harm your body. It's supporting you. And look at the other thing is, I'm going to get into this a little bit, Cindy. I have 2 family members that worked in big pharma. I worked in doctors' offices. I had some doctors who wouldn't allow pharmaceutical reps in the office, and at first I didn't understand why. And then I had other doctors who were like, every pharma rep came in. They would load us up with samples, and they would give the doctor pamphlets and say, give them this. Do you know that most of those doctors didn't sit down and actually research what the pharmaceutical reps were giving them? They took their word for what they were handing out to people. And because there's samples in the closet, you come into the office, the doctor gives you the samples and says, here, go out, go out, go out. I only had a couple of doctors that I worked for that allowed me to go in and do some actual education on more natural resources for their health. And I loved those doctors. But probably 80 to 90% of the doctors that I worked with would not allow it. They just wanted to hand out medications.
I know. Well, and from what I understand now is that doctors are only taught pharmaceuticals. So that is the cure. It's a pharmaceutical. And, that is not what I want for my life. And thank God we finally got Carl off of that crap. So I don't know. You know what? You are breaking up a little bit, and I don't know why. Like, I can understand you. It's not enough to make me not be able to understand you, but it is...
It's sketchy over here. Okay. So I might not be on the live very long this morning then, because I've been having a few issues with my internet. Maybe I need to go reset everything and call my provider and let them know.
Well, don't get off, because I can understand everything you're saying. It's just, how when you read words and some are missing, it's like that, but I can still understand.
Okay. Yeah, well, I would prefer people not to have to deal with that, but I will check out all the internet settings, because I have never had those problems.
People are enjoying hearing you, so.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, yeah, you guys, and I'm not here to bastardize physicians, right? We all have our wheelhouse, and we all know what we know. And look at healthcare. No, feelgreatforlife.net. That, I don't know where you found that one, because that's an old I had to rebrand. You guys, the company went through some changes this last few months, and so I had to get rid of feelgreatforlife.net for compliance. So if you go to Misha Fayant, myname.com, everything is there. And yeah, Heather, some doctors are very supportive. The last doctor I worked with, by the way, I knew her for over a dozen years. She was extremely supportive, but she understood that I go do research. When I went into the doctor to see her, I would be like, this and this is happening. I think this is what it is. How are we going to deal with it? And she would be like, well, I don't know if it's that. And then she would go do the exam and look it up and be like, okay, I think it's that. So yeah, am I a doctor? No. do I educate myself? Yes. And not all doctors are the same. Some doctors out there are amazing, and there's a push towards doctors becoming osteopaths more. In Boise, where I used to live, they opened up an osteopathic medicine college, and more people are going that route because they do teach more of the natural methods in osteopathy. So I think there's a tide changing, and I'm glad. I'm glad because we don't need more chemicals shoved at us, right? Oh, amazing. Heather's doctor is going to try the system as well. And, you guys, yeah, your doctor.
That's the cool thing is getting your doctors to do it. And I think mine will too when she sees me next time. Oh my gosh. Girl, I changed my Facebook picture, okay? Like last week. You would have thought it was my birthday or I had a baby. I had so many people comment and call me and join the Feel Great system.
Because you look so different. I mean, I look at this picture of you and you just look so different. Sometimes I'm even blown away. I forget because I talk to you all the time, but you just look even more youthful. I mean, like it's just even from this picture.
Oh my gosh, my skin has gotten so much better. Guys, I lost 91 pounds in 7 months. My skin is not sagging. Everything about me feels better. I feel like I'm in my 40s again. It's crazy. Michael says, just think what her husband thinks. He thinks he wants men to quit hitting on me. It is so much fun.
Poor Carl. He takes it all, doesn't he?
Poor Carl.
Poor Carl. So I know I was surprised, Cindy, when you started it. That's usually pretty typical for a lady to start or a husband to start. But to get their spouse on it is more rare than you might think. Most spouses are like, oh, what's that crazy thing you're doing again? But how long did it take Carl to do it? Or did you just say, hey, Carl, we're doing this?
We started the same time. We got one pack, and Misha signed me up, guys, and I love Misha. And we bought one sis. I'm like, what the hell, Carl? We've tried everything else. Guys, I had gastric bypass in 2009. Lost 110 pounds. Within 5 years, I gained back 140 or 150. I gained every bit of that plus back. And it's called food addiction. But anyway, Carl and me started at the same time. Within, I'd say 5 days, I ordered that second pack and we were on our way. I loved it immediately. So Michael's still working on his spouse. He can't get, and what I love is when the men start and the women are like, no, because it's usually us women that do it and make our husbands join.
Well, yeah, you know what, and husbands don't often, I mean, I go through this with, I will say, my family members. But, they're like, by the way, I'm not going to say you can drink every day and lose weight and get healthy, but you can have an occasional drink with the system. You're just going to use a balance ahead of time to help mediate the sugars from that alcohol. Most people find that they don't have the hangover the next day. You're not spiking your blood glucose that way, and you're staying healthier. So if you go out on the weekends and you have drinks with people or whatever, then you just have your balance beforehand. It's simple and sustainable. It's amazing.
Exactly. Michael, your spouse will join when you get so hot that she's going to be worried about that. And she'll be like, oh, honey, I think I need to join you.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I have this one customer. She'll call me and ask me, can you get Carl to wear a pair of Speedos?
Yeah, no. I don't want to see Speedos on anybody's timeline. To be honest, I just don't.
I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen, okay? But
well, if you keep letting men hit on you, he might. He might. But I'm going to show everybody over here a couple of other people. You guys, again, we highlight the weight loss because it's what grabs people's attention. I'm going to show them Jason real quick. And you guys, Jason was started at 463 pounds. He's now lost over 140 pounds in 6 months on the system. But more than that, he's taken his A1C from 13.3. It's now down to 6.1. He's also reversed his hypertension, hyperlipidemia, sleep apnea, chronic fatigue, chronic pain. He was losing his eyesight. He had neuropathy and edema. He had all the stuff. He hasn't been taking any medications, and yet all of this positive changes happened for him, including losing all that weight. I've seen him in this shirt now, and that shirt's loose on him now. He's not fluffy. I call him slim now. Jason's slim.
It's so funny because my old shirts I can use now as night shirts or a dress if I wanted to.
Yeah, it's the one thing I do want to talk about, because I say it's not a weight loss system. This is to get you healthy, to get taking care of what's going on inside of you. So there's a reason Cindy had gastric bypass and gained the weight back. I've dealt with a number of people. I don't know that. Have you had iron absorption problems or any of that stuff?
No, I make sure to take all my stuff, and I take the good kind that absorb easily.
Yeah, but you're having to take extra iron now after the gastric bypass, right?
Yeah.
So this is something that happens. Now, I don't take any iron pills. I don't take any of that. I use the system, and I do a supplement called Bone Fortify for magnesium, calcium, D3, K2. But when you have gastric bypass, you're not addressing the root cause. You may lose the weight. Most people gain it back, and then they gain back a whole bunch of health problems anyway. Jason was being told to have gastric bypass. I caught him just before he was going to go have the surgery because he was so, or schedule it because he was so like, I don't know what else to do. And now he's thankful. He never had to have the surgery. He's lost more weight than they would have expected him to, even with the gastric bypass. He eats healthy. He eats what he wants. He's not having some crazy restricted life or having to go to the gym. In fact, when I met Jason, he was like me. He was in so much pain and had so much swelling that gym was a dirty word to him. Now, gym was never a dirty word to me, but I just didn't want to go anymore because I was in pain. That was Jason. But yeah.
It's crazy, and I still don't go to the gym. But and that's another thing, guys. This doesn't work only if you work out, and it doesn't work if you only eat low carb. Or this is food freedom, and it's not a food for all, but is totally food freedom. And I mean, I eat baked potatoes. I eat everything. It's just I can't eat a fourth of what I used to. Not a fourth of it, and because this product kills my appetite, and all cravings are gone. You don't crave anything. And if you're not craving food and your stomach feels full, why eat, right? Simple.
Yeah, and I will say, you guys, I am the kind of the sciencey geek person, so I do a lot of stuff to like find out, and I'm diving into studying some more issues for women over 50. Right now I have some information coming from doctors and whatnot that I've been listening to. But, I started adding a little bit of our protein to my balance. Have you done that yet?
What's that?
Have you added a scoop of protein to your balance yet?
No.
So I was starting to have, because my energy is up so high, right? So yeah, when my energy goes up, then my body is needing more, So I was having hunger, and I was doing balance just to kind of try and keep some hunger away. And then I was listening to Rav, and he said, put some protein in it. And I realized I haven't been as perfect with my diet as I should be. And having the extra protein is probably a good thing. So I put a scoop of protein in with my balance. Vanilla protein. I like this with chocolate protein as well, but it worked. It keeps me more satiated, and your body starts to burn what you put in it first. So if you wake up and you're having pancakes and donuts, I was trying to say, I don't know what I was trying to say mixed with donuts, conuts, I don't know, but donuts and pancakes, that's what your body's going to look for energy for the rest of the day. So the first thing you put in should be something like proteins and fats, and then that's what your body's going to go, this is how we're going to burn today, and that's what it's going to look for fuel. So I know that adding the protein for me has really helped me stay more satiated, and I really like it. And then you guys, maybe a secret. Because this by the way tastes like an orange Julius. There are 5 new flavors coming out. I cannot divulge what the flavors are. But I've tried, I think, almost all of them with the vanilla protein shake. And there's only one that I didn't like with the vanilla protein shake. But the new flavors are amazing. So hopefully they'll let us announce that soon.
How soon? I wonder when that's coming out.
I don't know. We have in about another week, we all have to go in and give our feedback on the flavors. I know we're not going to release all 5, so there's probably going to take some feedback overall. And I just hope my favorite one doesn't get cut from the roster because it's pretty darn good. But you guys, and this, you mix this in water and then you drink it down quick though. So you're going to mix it in about this much water, shake it up, and then you just drink it down 10 minutes before you eat. And that's all there is to it. It's not overly complicated. It's not any of that. It just is easy and sustainable, and it helps us bridge the gap between where our food is and where it should be so that our bodies can function more normally.
Yeah,
that's the really.
I have to remember that because a lot of people when they first start they feel hungry. So to add that spoon of protein will probably make the difference. I eat so much protein, I didn't ever have that problem. I am an eggaholic.
Yeah. Oh. I know, and you guys, when I did powerlifting, I literally I put all the macros in. So not all nuts are equal, by the way. Some are very, very high in carbohydrates and very low in protein. So I know I have people who are like, well, I don't snack, but I'll have some nuts in between. It's you guys, protein satiates you the most, right? But it also does spike your insulin. Protein spikes your insulin about half as much as carbohydrates do. So yes, I want you to focus on protein, but I don't want you to think that, oh, if I'm adding nuts or whatever in outside or whatever outside of the eating window that you're not breaking your fast, because you are. Fats won't break your fast. They're more satiating than nothing. So you can do that towards the end of your fast and help support it. But yeah, be careful with the snacking and
True. But if you're just going to, then make it healthy. Make it, nuts or peanuts are my favorite.
Well, and the other thing that I used to forget, but I drink my tea all day long. So this is 2 teas mixed up. This is what is it? Almost 50 ounces in here. So it'll take me the rest of the morning until just about the time I'm ready for. Yeah, there's Cindy drinking too.
Mine's 32 ounces, and I drink that before the morning's over.
Yeah.
And then I'll start my second one.
But I usually have a couple of these a day because it's just real food. It's not harming you, and it's actually got a ton of nutrients in it. The natives who harvest it, when they have lean times, like through the winter and whatnot, and maybe they don't have other food sources available, they would call it the food of the gods, because this particular plant they could live on and subsist life on and be healthy and thrive, not be wasting on this plant alone. So it's just really high in nutrients.
Yeah.
I highlight 3 or 4 of them all the time when I talk about it, but there's so many more nutrients than that in there. And again, you guys, both the products are just in packets that you just mix with water. They're purified. So we take this stuff to a Swiss lab where it goes through this process called HyperPure that helps remove pesticides and environmental toxins. So now you have an extract that's highly concentrated, highly purified, portable, and just so easy to use. So like, can you imagine? All right, I'm gonna do the bad thing. Like, people talk about this. This doesn't work, right? And can you imagine trying to carry this around in your purse or your wallet? Something that doesn't work, right? It doesn't work for what we're talking about. It's one type of fiber, and it takes a variety of fibers to do this. Or can you do this, which is not a fiber, it's a pre-meal drink, because there's phytosterols, vitamins, minerals, and so much more than just fiber in here. But I mean, I don't know. When I'm going out, I would rather have this than this in my purse. And I like, this may help me. Sorry, guys, this may help me poop, but it's not really gonna do all the job, even though it says on here. But there's no scientific study on this. They're piggybacking off of the work we've done with this to say that this does what it does. Now, there are specific fibers that you'll find when you do a search for fibers that help mediate or control blood glucose. The 3 that they mention in those studies not from our company, but from other people, are in this packet. They're not in here. Okay.
No, it's definitely not the same thing.
No.
And Metamucil, I mean, if you need to poop, it works, but
But
this
you
stuff
know,
does so much more than that.
and I have to get my live fiber out because we do have a fiber that's made more to help clean you out. But even that fiber, this is our company, is so focused on your health. They're not just selling you something to take your money, they're trying to help you. So our pooping fiber has like 27 or 29 different types of fiber in it because there's certain things in your body that don't get carried away with just psyllium husk and dextrin. So it takes a variety of things to do all the jobs. That's why our company has specific blends of all these things, because they've actually gone in and taken a look at what these things do and what's going to affect the. So they're not looking at, oh, everybody's talking about turmeric for inflammation and stuff, let's do a turmeric product. No, they're being, what is the issue that most people are talking about and suffering with, and how can we address that? And then they dive in that way. So we're a science company on the lead of this, all of this, and these other guys are marketing companies hopping on our coattails, trying to grab a ride. Really.
Good luck to them. Our stuff's all patented.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Heather, I know. I go, you guys, even when I travel like for weeks at a time and go overseas and whatnot, because these are in packets, I never have an issue. Like I couldn't put this in my carry-on. I would get pulled through and wiped down every time. But this, I just count out how many packets I need for the week. And then I usually multiply it by 1.5, because let's be honest, when we're traveling and when we're vacationing, we're not perfect. So I always have extra, and it just fits in my flight bag. It's so easy. It's just a little quart-sized bag that takes all of my packets. I pull one out, mix it up.
Okay, so William, Balance, it's a fiber matrix. There is nothing in it that can hurt you. So if you drank 12 in half an hour, it would not do anything. So your answer is absolutely yes. You could take more than 2 a day. Yes. So if you're hungry in the afternoon and you're just not going to make it.
Well, I'm going to say, hold up. I would never want somebody to take 12 of these in a half an hour.
Well, I wouldn't either, but it's
because
still not going to hurt them. There's no pharmaceuticals or anything.
You're going to have gas and bloating. You're going to have gas and bloating, and you're going to get stopped up because you need more water when you use this if you're doing that many. But I've had 6 of these in a day and been fine. Actually, I had really, this is always TMI time for me, but I had uncontrolled IBS. I didn't want to go places. Traveling was difficult because I never knew when it was going to strike. Like the demon was going to strike and I was going to feel like a toddler. But I don't have those issues now. And actually the days when I use more of these, I'm more normal than any other time. And the only times I really have problems now is if I get a hold of too much sugar or seed oils. This has helped all of that. But yeah, I've had 6 a day and been fine.
If I eat too much sugar, my body tells me about it almost immediately.
Pain, diarrhea, headaches.
If you're going to drink extra balances, like she said, you need to make sure you're getting plenty of water. Lots more water, okay? Not just the 4 or 8 ounces you use to drink it, more than that afterwards.
Yeah. So I generally drink about 3/4 of a gallon to a gallon of water between my teas and just regular water. You see me going back and forth. That's just me. I'm a super hydrator, but I also understand how important this is to the body, especially when we're getting in the fibers we need. So.
Okay, so he says his blood pressure went up. So your blood pressure went up when you drank an extra balance? Is that what you're saying? It's hard to, understand what they're saying when they say one little sentence, but then explain what they meant.
Yeah, well, and there's a number of things that can happen too. I was just on the phone with a lady last night who just started the system, so here's the thing, you guys. It's real food products. We don't have any of those adverse reactions noted from anyone. But what will happen is, because I used to do mindset coaching, people get scared. and your subconscious is going to do things, and then you have anxiety and stuff happens, right? Because you're trying something new. How could this be real? And your anxiety kicks in. But there's also physiological things going on when you're starting to release toxins and whatnot. But there's also, if you got a hold of sugars, or if you got a hold of seed oils, and bless people's hearts, they don't know. I didn't know till I knew, right? But if you're eating oils that are seed oils, that can actually cause an inflammatory response and cause problems with hypertension, high blood pressure as well.
If you're eating what? You broke up.
Seed oils.
Seed oils, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I just stick with healthy fats. Avocado oil, butter, ghee, coconut oil. You need to make sure that you're eating the healthy fats.
Yeah. Okay.
So, are you doing any of those things, Michael? But blood pressure is one of them things that it goes up and down throughout the day anyway. And if you're having a particularly stressed moment, you know what? They call it something about high doctor blood pressure, because most people, when they go to the doctor,
white coat blood pressure.
Blood pressure goes up.
Yeah, when you start getting stressed and anxious, those things can all account for it too. But there's been absolutely no studies or complaints about when they actually take a look at it, about people's blood pressure going up. In fact, this is one of the things I talked about last night on the phone with the lovely lady I was talking with. But my blood pressure used to be like 180 over 150, kind of like that at some point every day. There would be nights when I would wake up and it was well over 200, 240, over 180. And so when I say that I was afraid I was going to die in my sleep and my children were going to have to find me, that was real. You guys don't understand what that feels like when your blood pressure is that high. It's terrifying. But I was tired of going to the doctor for it. Like, I was tired of running to the ER all the time because of my blood pressure. I was on dual therapy of lisinopril and hydrochlorothiazide, and that was still happening. Now, was it the hydrochlorothiazide and the lisinopril that caused my blood pressure to go up? No, it was my lifestyle, my worries. Did I get enough sleep? All of those things can affect your blood pressure. But I've been off of medications for 21 months, all medications, and my blood pressure in January was just read at 120 over 70 in a physical exam at a doctor's office. 120 over 70, from like 180 over 150 on medication to 120 over 70 off medication. You have to, but it didn't happen overnight. Hypertension, on my side, I do a lot of videos about why insulin resistance causes hypertension, and there are so many interactions, from not producing enough nitric oxide so your blood vessels can't dilate, from your kidneys not being able to dump salt so you're retaining water, your vessels are narrowing down because they're too thick. So many things are happening when you have insulin resistance, and it takes time for those to reverse. That all didn't happen to your body overnight. It's not going to reverse overnight. 2 years now, my blood pressure is normal, no medications.
And I was calling him Michael. I think his name is William.
Oh,
so sorry about that. But Michael, because there is Michael here too. I am really excited too. Michael was one of them. When they start and they're like 30 days, that's it. And then if this doesn't work, I'm getting the gastric bypass. I'm done.
yeah.
Michael says, I know I'm stuck in your mind. LOL.
Well, and you guys, here's the thing too. I want to talk about that super quick, but this is, again, 2 real food products for the people over here on my other channels. 2 real food products that I use at 3 points during the day: a tea I drink in the morning, and a pre-meal drink that I have before I eat my first 2 biggest meals of the day. I don't snack. I fast for 16 hours. I eat in an 8-hour window. Couldn't have done the fasting. I was so food addicted without the system. But if you can't do this for 90 days, don't do it. Like I just said, this is a natural food system that's going to help you put back what's been stripped out, bridge that gap between where our food is now and where we need it to be so that our bodies can heal more naturally. This is not a medication that's going to affect you in 2 days. So give it time. Give it the 90
make
days.
Sure you follow me. That way you can start watching my videos. You can talk to me, and then I can help you more.
Yeah. So 90 days, you guys, you have a 90-day money-back guarantee. So give your body the best chance. 30 days, like 30 days in, I hadn't lost weight. I hadn't noticed a ton of things. I had like I had more energy. I could tell my hypertension was starting to try and regulate. I had some readings that I hadn't seen in years, but I wasn't losing weight and all those other things. And I remember a month in, I was like, I just don't know if this is working. And I remember being really despondent with Rav, like, I don't know what you just got me into. And he was like, just be patient. At 6 weeks, I started losing weight. By 3 months, I was 25 pounds down. I had lost all my skin tags, all my skin discoloration. My hypertension was going down. The swelling in my ankles, knees, feet was all gone. Like, it takes time. Give it the 90 days. There's a reason we have a 90-day money back guarantee. It's so that you can try it for the 90 days and see.
Hey, XRP, so glad to hear that. I know I haven't seen you in a little bit. So, yeah, but you know what, guys? Not everybody. Like, I swear to God, people say I'm crazy. I knew the first day. I felt that energy the minute I started drinking Unimate. And within the week, I think it took 5 days before I ordered the second system because my husband and me were sharing. And I knew within a week this was it. I started telling people and getting my sisters on it and my aunt and uncle on it and all kinds of people. Then Misha calls and says, you need to sell this. And I'm like, no.
Yes. Now, are you glad you're doing the business side now, too?
Yeah, because it's so much fun. And I got to meet Michael, my 40-year-old love of my life.
Where's Carl? Where's Carl in all this?
Right around the corner.
Yeah. Carl's standing over there with a big old bat. But, and so I've been listening to a lot of other people talk about stuff. And here's the thing. Yes, we do network marketing. Yes, we're representing a system. But what I like to talk about is when I was in the medical system and pharmaceutical reps came in and were giving drugs that cost $300, $500, $1,200 a month. Are those pharmaceutical reps getting paid? Are they taking a cut on the medication? Are they jumping it up in price? And then, then the pharmacy. And so everything is really network marketing. They just
they
like
get
don't.
paid a hell of a lot more than we do, I'll tell you.
So, we're just people who have found results. We're happy to go out and share it with people. And a ton of people have come to me about doing this because I was doing mindset coaching and life coaching and whatnot. And I just could never bring myself to do something like this until this came along. And then for me, I was like, I can change people's lives. I can spend all day doing what I love, which is helping people. That's why I was a coach. And I can do it on my terms.
Right.
Wow.
And I mean, I had no intention of going back to work, guys. I'm 65 years old. I'm retired. I'm on Social Security, and I'm actually going to have to stop it because of this job. But, I just could not tell people. I just could not. I mean, because I have never in my life found something that changes everything. The minute my food addiction left, and my cravings left, I was hooked.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, I noticed I did. Like I'm kind of a tough nut though, because I'm like everybody else. Like, oh, this can't be real. I gave it a try because I was like, I felt like I was backed up against the wall, right? Like my health was so bad that I had to do something. I tried the medical medium. I did veganism. I did keto. I did all of those things. It wasn't getting healthier. And then this happened. So yeah, I mean, even though I was like mad about the weight loss, I had more energy. I had more mental clarity. All of those things were happening. So I was holding on. But I'm going to tell you.
Question here for you,
yeah,
Misha.
Go ahead.
Michael wants to know, have you ever thought about Uber driving?
Have I ever thought of what? Are you serious?
I'm so serious.
Michael.
But I'm good at having doing what we're doing. But tell him about Uber driving there, Misha.
So at one point, you guys, I went from being four-time world champion in powerlifting to I couldn't walk because my health deteriorated so bad. I couldn't bend over. I had vertigo. Now, okay, bad on me for driving when I was having vertigo, right? I would have to pull over. Thankfully, it never happened with anyone in the car. But I had pain that I couldn't get up and go to my job. I had all this stuff. I actually had doctors because I was in so much pain. Mentally, I'm pretty tough. I could make it through the day mentally, but my body would get to a point where it would just shut down and my legs would go out from underneath me in clinic. And doctors were like, honey, we love you, but this is a danger to you. And like when I'm carrying trays with thousands of dollars worth of testing stuff on it, it can't happen. So I had to quit working in the medical field. And guess what I ended up doing? Because it was the only thing I could do. I drove for Lyft. Through the pandemic, I drove for Lyft when I started this, and that is not the boon that everybody thinks it is. Everybody's like, oh, you make so much money. More than half of my income went back into the maintenance on my car, and my car, like I just like don't I did that, and I did it for 70 hours a week. I drove every single day. And here's the thing, if I wasn't driving, I wasn't making money. I had family throughout the country, and I'm like, I can't take time off to go visit my other grandkids, because if I take time off, I'm not making money. And if I'm not making money, I can't pay my bills. Now, guess what? My job goes with me wherever I am. I go see my grandkids whenever I want. I'm doing what I need to do regardless. I'm not in a car with drunken people or angry business people yelling at me. And yeah, nope. Uber and Lyft it got me through a few years, but no, it's not. It's not a way to make money.
You need to come under me, son, and we are going to make way better than what you're doing now.
Oh, he drives for Uber?
Yes.
Well, how about you not have to put all the miles on your car? I don't know how much you're driving, but I was changing my tires at least twice a year, my brakes 3 to 4 times a year, my headlights every single month, $60 headlights had to be replaced, oil changes, and the depreciation on the car. How about you don't deal with all of that? And like one day I picked up some lady, and she was I'm going to call her a Karen. I hate that word, but I'm going to call her a Karen. I had just picked up a guy. Like, I vacuumed my car, took it through the car wash, vacuumed my car every single day before I went out, right? Some guy had gotten in who happened to be a worker, and he had some mud on his boots, and it wasn't a lot. There was just a little bit of mud in the black back floor mats, not a lot. This lady got in and started berating me for how I kept my car. I'm like, you literally were the ride after him. When did I have time to even know that there was a little bit of dirt on the mats in my car? Grow up. Anyway, yeah, nope, I'm not ever going back to that. Not ever. And honey,
Michael says he has a 2018 that has 356,000 miles on it. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. And yeah. And guess what, Michael? I've 5x'd my income in just over a year, and I don't have all the expenses.
No overhead, none. I'm doing this at home. But guess what? When I go to Ada tomorrow with my daughter-in-law, I'm going to be live in the car. Hi, guys. You can do it anywhere.
I've done it at the airport, in a hotel room. You don't have to go live. If that's not what you choose, you don't have to do it that way. You get to do it the way you want. Sure. So somebody's asking over here, where do you find the product and the name price? Sorry, guys, sometimes I get so focused on one platform. It's called the Feel Great System. There's a QR code over on here on YouTube and Facebook. You just scan that QR code. It will take you to my page, but you can also go to mishafayant.com. You'll find it there. And I'm going to put another link over here for you guys so you can find it there. And it's about $5 a day. Okay, $5 a day. You get all 3 products, and there's that. And then not only do you get the $5 a day, 3 products, you get Cindy or I, whoever you purchase from. You get us as a coach, so that is important. I do want to say, guys, it is important because it breaks my heart. My daughter does this now too, and she has people, because she's Spanish speaking, people reach out to her all the time that don't even purchase from her, but they're wanting her to answer all their questions. So the coach that you get is the person you buy from. Be sure that that's somebody that you want to answer your questions and take care of you. Cindy does an amazing job taking care of her customers. I have no doubt in that. But I see so many people who are just signing people up and then never taking care of them, or never giving them real answers. So you guys, you get us for your coach. You get the 90-day money back guarantee. You get the low price guarantee. You're going to pay the same price as we do. And you get to talk to us. You get to talk to us. So
that's right. Absolutely. And for me, guys, all you have to do is go to my profile on TikTok and click on my link tree. And it says right there, order here. And it's very simple to do. Hey, Karen. Hey, Jen.
So you guys, yeah, Cindy's is the same as mine over here on TikTok. You're just gonna go to her profile or my profile, whoever's page you're on, and then there's a link right underneath of our picture. That link is gonna take you. Hers looks different than mine, but it's gonna take you to a page that has the options to purchase the product and whatever else there. So we've tried to make it super easy for y'all, and that's where all that's at. Thanks for asking, Sharon. And yeah, ask questions. By the way, in mine, there's a way to get a hold of me through WhatsApp or just to send me questions and have me come answer those. So please utilize that information.
You forget that you're the one that taught me how to do all this stuff. So mine looks a lot like yours.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the same buttons, but it looks pretty close.
Facebook, WhatsApp, know what's in the products or order. It's very simple.
Yep.
And that's all on the TikTok profiles, guys.
Yep. Yep. So, hey, I have user, I can never remember you guys numbers. They start turning in my head when I have to look at this long string of numbers. Right. Oh, Heather, thanks for that. Because I was going to talk about that too. Like when I started, when I was like so upset, like I'm not losing weight, all of this is not happening. By the way, I just leaned back and look at there's space under my. You can't see it over there on YouTube and TikTok. Or YouTube and Facebook they can, but they're used to my belly used to stick out past my boobs. Now my boobs actually stick out past my belly. That's a win. But I had bought a pair of shorts when I very first started because I was so excited, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna lose weight. You know, I have that personality. But when I wasn't losing weight, and Rob said, "How how's the inches and whatnot?" I forgot to take measurements when I started. I was just like so devastated. But I bought these denim shorts. They were way too tight. I couldn't even get them buttoned up. But I was just sure that I was going to get in them by summer because I bought them like in March. And that was in the end of April, and it was still cold in Idaho. And I ran and I got the shorts and I put them on, and they fit in the waist and they were loose in the legs, but I hadn't lost any weight. So something that was tight that I couldn't wear was now I only got to wear those shorts 3 times because I was just damn sure I was going to wear them, but I had to give them away because they were just too loose. So fat loss is not weight loss, you guys. The scale might not change. And that's the other thing is I was just telling a friend last night, like I have arms that have some excess skin from being 270, 280 pounds. But even though my scale hasn't changed for a while, I went to put on a shirt that used to be tight around my arms, even after the 50-pound weight loss, and it fits. So your body continues to change. You continue to lose fat and gain lean tissue as you stay on the system. It's not like you're losing fat and losing muscle. When you're insulin resistant, you're losing muscle and gaining fat. When you start getting healthy, you're losing fat and gaining muscle.
So, Rick, who is your coach? Because Rick says he's from Virginia. He's waiting on his initial kit, and he's becoming a distributor. All of that.
All of that, yeah.
Yay, but who are you under?
Yeah.
1957. You were born in the same year as me. Yay!
1964. Like we're not older. We're just better. We're just better. So I have Steffi's. I forget. I have Steffi's picture up over here, you guys, because I brought this up. I forget what I'm doing sometimes. But this is Stephanie, Nurse Stephanie. Now, when you look at pictures of like Cindy and I, and we needed to lose weight, right? There's Cindy, Jason, me. Okay. And then we go to somebody like Stephanie, because I have people say, well, so and so was thin and healthy and they still had this issue or that issue. Your when you're dealing with insulin resistance, it doesn't mean that you're fat. Insulin resistance doesn't show up as being fat in some people, but Stephanie, nobody knew at the time. Stephanie was about 30 pounds overweight. She looked lean and healthy to me. She had depression, she had anxiety, she had ADD that was out of control. She lost 30 pounds and she eats like a horse. I am shocked at what this woman eats. But she says she has 4-pack abs now, and she hasn't done any sit-ups or any workouts like that. But you guys, you don't have to be obese for this to be helpful to you. It doesn't. This is again about your health and not about weight loss. So
exactly. So Victoria, I eat every day at noon and every day at 6 p.m. and I pretty much stick to that. I mean, it's not wrote in stone, but that's just the way I do it.
So yeah, I'm more random. I'm more random because that's just my whole life is random. So it's noon here. I will go grab something to eat when I get off, and then I'll be doing work. And then if I remember to eat within 6 hours, I will. If not, I'll go, oh, dude, I'm hungry, and my 8-hour window's almost up, and then I'll eat. So my time fluctuates. I'm not as consistent as Cindy with the times. There'll be times I eat at 10:30 in the morning, and I'm finished by 4:30 in the afternoon. And then but you know what? That's the other cool thing with the system. This is not you have to do it this way or at these times. You should do the 16/8. But look, if you wake up one day and you just had a day where you spent a lot of energy because you were out doing things and you're super hungry at 10:30, eat. Just have the balance beforehand. Wait 6 hours, have your next meal. It's not meant to be this strict, I can't live my life thing. Heather says she's 53, been in menopause for 23 years. You know, Heather, I was watching you on Cindy's Live this morning, and I'm shocked. Like, I am so used to seeing your face now. I forget what y'all looked like beforehand. It's insane to me. Go ahead, Cindy. Do you have questions over there? I do want to talk about this really quick. This is what the goal of the system is really, is that when we're eating foods right now, they're turning into glucose in our system really quickly. You see all those high spikes on the top. Insulin is a hormone that has to carry energy from those foods to your body. And so it has to go up to meet the level that you're spiking your glucose to. And then it takes a long time for it to come down, right? So like the higher a balloon goes up, the longer it takes for it to come down. But with the system, what we're doing is we're slowing down how that sugar hits your system so the insulin never goes up and it never goes up as high, and it doesn't have all of those issues. That's really the nuts and bolts of the system and why this is working so well. And it just is amazing how well that all works for.
Exactly. Well, I'm about done for the day because it's time for me to start doing things. But thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. I'm about done too because I have a lot of other tasks to go to. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Cindy, well, I'm sure I'll see you on Live in the Morning. She goes live every morning. What time are you live normally?
8:15 Central and 10:30.
8:15 and 10:30 Central. You can catch Cindy. Cindy loves to help on TikTok. And Liddy Lou, see you guys later. Heather, thanks for hopping on over here. We'll talk to y'all later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.